The story begins in Denmark during the age of the Vikings. On a cold and windy mountain, a giant plays happily with his young child, a small troll with curious eyes and a laugh that echoes through the peaks. It's a peaceful moment, but peace never lasts long in a world ruled by men. From below, the chief of a Danish tribe rides upward with his warriors, their horses pounding against the stones. Their mission is simple: to kill the giant. But before they reach him, the giant spots their approach. Alarm fills his heart. He scoops his son into his arms and runs toward the far side of the mountain, his heavy footsteps shaking the earth. Yet the warriors are too many. They surround him, cutting off every path of escape. The giant quickly hides his child on a slope among the rocks, whispering for him to stay silent. Then he turns to face the men, not with hatred, but with hope that fear might make them turning. But the Vikings do not retreat. They raise their spears and fire arrows lit with flame. The giant cries out as fire burns his flesh. Arrows pierce his chest. The mountain echoes with his pain. Losing balance, the giant tumbles down the cliffside and crashes upon the rocks below. From his hiding place, the little troll watches everything. When the battle ends, the chief walks to the mountain's edge and removes his iron mask. And just beyond, for a moment, the chief grips his sword, considering whether to finish what they started. But it is only a child, too small to be a threat. Without telling his men, he turns his horse around and rides away. When the noise of hooves fades, the little troll crawls down the mountainside. Near the sea, he finds his father's body surrounded by crows and vultures. The boy tries to pull the body away, but it's too heavy, so he takes a sword left behind by the men and with trembling hands cuts the body into pieces small enough to carry. One by one, he brings them to a cave by the sea and hides them there. Turn to years, and the child grows into a young troll, scarred, strong, and silent. Every night, he sits beside his father's severed head and weeps in sorrow, promising vengeance against the humans who destroyed his world. Meanwhile, in the Viking village of Denmark, life continues as usual. The priest blesses the new tavern, pouring ale onto the floor and declaring it open in the name of their gods. The people cheer and drink, unaware that vengeance is already walking toward them. In the darkness beyond the village, the grown troll finally leaves his cave. His time of waiting is over. That same evening, laughter and song fill the tavern. Drunken warriors raise their mugs, boasting about battles and women. Outside, a lone guard leans against the wall until a massive shadow falls over him. The troll grabs the man by the head and crushes his skull with one hand. When morning comes, the chief and his men arrive. The sight freezes them. Bodies of their comrades lie scattered, limbs torn apart, faces crushed. The chief's commander steps forward, shaken. "Some young men stayed here after drinking," he says. "I don't know who killed them so cruelly." The chief says nothing. He notices that no women or elders were harmed, only warriors. And that makes him uneasy. Far from there, in the icy waters, ships belonging to the Vikings of Gatland cut through the fog. Their leader, Leo, a strong, respected warrior, stands at the helm. His men are on another raid, but a snowstorm forces them to seek shelter near Denmark. Fate is quietly drawing him into the same tragedy. That night, the Danish chief goes to the mountain with his guard. He shouts into the wind, challenging the unseen killer. But before the echo fades, a shadow moves behind them. The troll appears and smashes the guard's skull. The chief sees it happen and charges with his sword, roaring. Yet before he can reach the beast, it vanishes into the mist. He cannot understand why the troll never faces him directly, always killing his guards, then fleeing into darkness. The next morning, the tribe gathers around the blood-stained rocks. The chief's wife speaks bitterly. "So many of our men have been killed. What will happen to their widows? If this continues, soon only widows will remain." The chief says nothing, his shame keeping him silent. That evening, by Gavning, his wife climbs the mountain to the hut of a woman named Lena, an outcast said to see death before it comes. She asks, "Will my husband die the same way as the others?" Lena's cold gaze doesn't soften. "You all cast me out and called me corrupt. And now you want my help?" The chief's wife pleads. "It wasn't my fault." Lena finally answers, "It makes no difference, but your husband will not die by the troll's hand." Meanwhile, Leo and his warriors arrive on the Danish shore. A mounted soldier rides up, warning, "This land belongs to Vikings too. If you came to raid, leave." Leo replies calmly, "I am Leo of Gatland. We seek only rest, not blood." The soldier hesitates, then says, "Come, I will take you to our chief." When they meet, the chief welcomes Leo warmly. "I knew your father. You were just a boy then. Now you are a great warrior." That night, he hosts a feast in Leo's honor. The chief's wife pours the ale herself, and the fire crackles as they eat. Leo glances around at the many widows seated quietly near the walls. "Why so few men?" he asks. The chief's expression darkens. "The troll comes often. He kills only our warriors." Leo sets down his cup. "Then tonight my men and I will wait for him." The chief and his wife leave after the feast, but Leo and his men stay behind. Midnight comes. Outside, footsteps scrape against the snow. The troll sniffs around the tavern door, testing the air. He can smell that those inside are strangers. He doesn't attack. Instead, he urinates on the door, floor, marking it with contempt, then disappears into the dark. When Leo's men rush out, swords ready, the night is empty. At sunrise, the chief arrives, confused that no one was killed. Leo explains, he came, he smelled us. Then he left. The chief frowns but says nothing. Later, Leo leads a small group into the mountains to hunt the troll, but they find nothing. As evening falls, Leo visits Lena's hut alone. I've heard you can see death before it comes, he says. She eyes him cautiously. And I've heard you're the famous warrior, Leo. Why are you here? He answers, I want to know how many will die in this fight and if the troll can be killed. Lena tosses her carved bones onto the floor. They scatter, showing grim signs. The troll will die, she says softly, but not before the land runs red with Viking blood. This is their punishment. Leo frowns. A punishment? For what? Lena's voice hardens. For what they did to the troll. Stay away, Leo. He's not your enemy. Before he can ask more, his men arrive, urging him back to the village. That night, Leo speaks privately with the chief. Has the troll ever killed a woman? A child? Anyone innocent? The chief shakes his head. Only men are warriors. Leo's eyes narrow. Then he's not a beast. He's intelligent, disciplined. The chief scowls. You speak as if you admire him. Leo answers, no, I understand him. There's a difference. The next day, Leo returns to Lena. Tell me how he can be killed, he demands. Why not just leave, she replies. Because I must protect your people, he says. She sighs and begins casting her bones again. Outside, a deep growl echoes. Leo rushes out, sword in hand, and spots the troll climbing the rocks. He calls out, face me if you have courage. The troll stops but does not attack. He speaks in his own tongue. Lena translates softly. He says his fight is not with you. You haven't harmed him. Leo lowers his sword, surprised. Inside the hut, Lena tells him the rest. Years ago, the chief's nephew forced me into sin. When he died in my bed, they called me cursed and cast me out. Since then, Viking men have come to dishonor me. But since the troll appeared, none have dared. That's why I won't help you kill him. He's suffered enough. Leo returns to the chief, troubled. Through Lena, I spoke with the troll, he says. He kills because your people wronged him. The chief grows uneasy. We'll speak of this later. As Leo leaves, he sees children mocking and beating a crippled man. Leo drives them off. The man tells him, my father helped kill the troll's father. The troll wiped out my family, but I know where he lives. Guided by the man, Leo and his warriors sail to the troll's mountain. The wind howls as they climb toward the cave. One warrior tries to descend but slips, nearly falling. Fear grips them. None dare enter. Instead, they urinate at the entrance, a foolish insult. Suddenly, from beneath the icy water, the troll lunges out. He grabs the man who defiled his cave, dragging him under. The others slash with swords, forcing him to retreat. The man survives, but barely. They return to the tavern that night, waiting again. But the troll does not come. In the morning, Leo finds the crippled man dead outside, his throat torn open. Rage fills him. They return to the cave, this time using ropes to enter. Inside, they find strange relics, bones, runes, and the skull of the giant father. One warrior, drunk on pride, smashes the skull and urinates on it. When the troll returns and sees the desecration, his roar shakes the mountain. At nightfall, he storms the tavern. The Vikings wake to chaos. He tears through them like a storm, killing the one who defiled his father's remains. Leo fights back bravely, but the troll's strength is beyond human. Chains fly, wood breaks, arrows strike. Cornered, the troll's arm becomes trapped in an iron chain. To escape, he cuts off his own hand and runs toward the sea, bleeding. He doesn't make it far. On the shore, the troll collapses, his blood staining the waves. As the sun rises, his body is dragged away by the tide, or perhaps something beneath the water. The next morning, Leo and the survivors burn their dead. The chief stands silent beside him. Leo turns and says, you told me only half the truth. Now that he's dead, tell me the rest. The chief's eyes fall. We killed his father without reason. We thought it would make us, which Leo replies coldly, and it made you monsters instead. He never killed the innocent. The chief lowers his head in shame. That night, the Vikings hang the troll's severed hand in the tavern, celebrating as if the curse is broken. Later, Leo visits Lena. He's gone, she says, but your wounds aren't over. She reveals her secret. Years ago, the troll came to her. He was gentle, not cruel. Once they lay together, and after that, he never returned. But the men stopped harassing her. He wasn't evil, she says softly, only broken. Leo listens in silence as a storm rumbles outside. At midnight, thunder shakes the village. A new figure moves through the rain, massive, furious. The troll's mother has come. She smashes the tavern door, slaughtering everyone inside, reclaiming her son's severed hand. When dawn comes, a small boy appears at Lena's hut. She hushes him and leads him away quietly. Meanwhile, the Vikings believe the troll still lives. They hunt the caves again. At the shore, they find another severed head, one of their own. Leo feels something is wrong. He dives into the cave alone and finds the troll's lifeless body resting on a rock. But behind him, the mother attacks. She strangles him, roaring with grief. Leo smashes a stone into her skull, grabs a sword, and strikes. She collapses beside her son. A small boy enters the cave, clutching a sword. When Leo sees him, he understands. The child is the son of Lena and the troll. Leo lowers his weapon. He can't kill him. Later, Leo tells the chief, "I'm leaving." The troll and his mother are gone. Before he departs, he warns Lena, "If they learn about your child, they'll kill you both." She nods calmly. "Then this secret will die with us." In the final scene, Leo builds 2 graves near Lena's hut, one for the troll, one for his mother. From afar, the boy watches in silence, tears glistening in his eyes. Leo mounts his horse, leaving the cursed land behind as waves crash against the shore. And so ends the story of the troll, a creature born from love, broken by cruelty, and remembered by the one man who saw his humanity.